Hello again. Welcome back to the channel. Well, I wanted to address something in a previous video. It's like probably the video before, 2 videos ago. Or just really a general thing, I suppose. But it's because I mentioned like food that you eat. And I mentioned like something about Pop-Tarts. And like thinking like, is it like a looper? I said I mentioned I had like these like Trader Joe's organic Pop-Tarts and is sugar a looper that slows down a certain reconciliation process? But the thing is like, why would you want to slow down that process, right? So I act like it's somehow more comfortable to slow down the process. Is it more comfortable to slow down that process? See, I don't even think it works like that. If what I'm really, see, I think the way that, this is hard to express. There's a certain rhythm to that process, and it manifests as eating a Pop-Tart. In some way that things are working that we can't really even comprehend, it slows down a little, and it manifests as eating Pop-Tarts. I don't know if that makes any sense. I have a feeling that's basically how this works. You know, like you need some explanation. Like something happens in the now. And here, which is the past, there's some explanation it manifests, because it has to explain it in some way, even though it's using all of the nonsense symbols here that the stuff here that maybe has nothing to do with what's really going on. It just has to somehow explain it. So there you go. You ate Pop-Tarts. I really think there's something like that. So things like, does meditation cause certain things, or do like drugs cause certain things, or what you eat, or whatever? Like the answer to all of those questions is those questions are all being asked backwards. Is what I really do suspect this might be the case. I don't really know. Obviously, I have no way of knowing any of this, but I suspect that in a weird, like a roundabout way, or in some way, none of those things, like what do they say, drugs, meditation, and certain foods, and of course also a million other things, a billion things. None of them cause anything. Like cause and effect doesn't exist, you know. And there's something happens, and therefore, and in the now, and in the causal reality, there needs to be an explanation. So there you go. There's an explanation, and then people talk about it, then like this caused that, but that's just because we need stories, because it's the causal reality, and in the causal reality, this side of things, we have to have an explanation. There needs to be an explanation on this side of things. That like works with our like idea that this works with the arbitrary logic of we've decided there is. Something like that. I don't really know what I'm talking about, but I think it might be something like that. Like, if you really if you make a channel like this and you try to be as honest as possible, it gets kind of weird. Like, I'm not going to lie, I felt kind of worried about even putting that last video up. I mean, they're not up yet, but I recorded this a little right after that one. I recorded like kind of like 3 in a row, I guess. And that one, you know, I don't want to be like giving somebody bad advice, you know. I think I hopefully made it kind of clear that the Pop-Tart thing wasn't like Look, see, this is this is an inside look at the kind of things that I actually do worry about. So this is a very transparent thing. Um, and it's probably something like if you're somebody who's really worried about being honest generally, like in life you have been honest, as far as you know, you've really tried. A certain unraveling process takes place and there might be kind of some lying in there. Or like stuff that you would, I don't know, something like that, you know, some inverse of something, but like, what did I really do, right? All I did was suggest that a Pop-Tart might slow down something, and the thing is, I honestly thought it might, and then it's all just secondhand. Like it's all just secondhand information. Like as I mentioned multiple times, I'm secondhand crap. The self is just secondhand crap. And some of the secondhand crap I was felt was fed at some point. I read something about sugar slowing down some Kundalini processors. I hardly read something like that. But of course, what does it mean to slow that down? Doesn't it just mean increasing rumination, right? And so are you watching a video of somebody who ate sugar and now you can see where this is going, right? But I'm hoping that like by being like brutally honest, documenting something in a way almost. This is stupid. It's not documenting anything. Nothing special is going on here. Nothing special is going on here. But nevertheless, you know, oh well, I'm making videos and it's an interesting thing. And it's like, you know, is lying even real? You've just been fed a bunch of secondhand crap that you think is the truth. Like you think like the logical system, the causal reality, all of these things, you think this is how it is. But you know, maybe it's not. And so you work when you say something that's not true according to an arbitrary system. And so it's like a lie. But it's kind of like a lie in quotes, because it turns out that it's a lie if you it's a lie, but it's only really a lie if you buy into a lot of assumptions that are really just assumptions that kind of are just it's kind of a foundation of sand. Because I've already mentioned things before, like, you know, our logical system that seems to value repetition and thinks that repetition means something. But it's really like we just decided it did at some point. It doesn't, I mean, prove it. Prove that. And so getting hung up on lying, and this sounds like I'm, oh well, I'm just going to say this stuff. You know, this channel, some of the stuff might get kind of odd. You know, the person who's been concerned about being good in life, maybe their unraveling process involves a little bit of what they would feel like is being bad. But, I mean, hopefully it's not particularly trouble causing. I don't think so. I don't know. See, if we just say what we say, and everything is truth, because what is truth, then lying and truth, this is sort of sandbox, like these like, the lying and telling the truth as we think of it is kind of like a limit. It's not really something that Here's another way to put it. If it turns out we're creating reality, with the creations, reality. Okay, it creates everything, and then us, and then we. And then we are still it, but we forget that we're it, and so then we get hung up on. We think we are like born into a reality we did not create, And so we think there are like real rules going on, like real rules. But what if it turns out the rules are kind of just like the assumptions, like these logical assumptions that our reality is like based on. They're just assumptions, what I mean. They're really just like a rule set, like they're like the code of this reality, and they could be changed. But we get so hung up on whether or not we're following the rules that we forget that they can be changed. So, like, please don't take the stuff I say on this channel seriously. I really do mean that. This channel is fiction. The stuff said on this channel is fiction. It's not a big deal to lie in fiction. What part of your identity is, I'm honest. I'm an honest person, and I really don't want to lie. Well, and you're trying to destroy your identity. I mean, what might you end up doing in that process? And to be a little like, it's an endless like wild goose chase to try to make it something as transparent as possible. See, I think it's more valuable probably for the viewership for me to upload that video than to take it down. Well, the thing with the food advice, which I probably, well, it's better for them to see this whole process than it is for them to buy into some stupid ruminative behavior that I've dragged around. That's like, be honest and being a little excessively, like almost like a confession habit. Like, I don't know that I was 100% certain about that Pop-Tart thing. Like, this is, I don't know if this makes sense. I would hope that somebody out there can kind of get that I'm showing you how to, trying to sort of exemplify something. Everything's just flowing, and you have to just go with it, or you have to go with it either way. Now that's true. And it just turns out you are going with it. That's the thing about this. You are going with it. You already are flowing. So no need to worry about if anybody else is flowing or not, because they're all flowing. The person who's like, the whole time, they're still flowing. It's more, you need to really destroy yourself rather than try to be a perfect person. You need to destroy yourself. Like that's the better. I don't mean like I mean that in like destroy the self by inverting it, so to speak. And so everyone, I said this multiple times because I just feel like this is not something that's really said a lot on YouTube spirituality videos. But I could be wrong, and I also could be wrong that this is even what they often are. But I think they often are basically inner work publicized. So it's like somebody's talking to themselves. See, I'm trying to be extremely transparent about this. Like, I just think it's interesting to do that because I just don't feel like I've seen it that much. Like, I'm talking to myself, and you can make videos like this where you talk to yourself and I kind of dive into the embarrassment almost. Like you really do talk to yourself. Like this is like truly talk to yourself. So what I mean is like there's an energetic feeling or a certain tuning. If you talk to yourself in your head, when you talk to yourself in your head, okay, it feels a certain way. There's a way it feels when you talk to yourself in your head. You know? Right? You know it's possible to look at another human being and talk to them exactly like that? And it's possible to feel that they're you. There's a weird thing that can happen where you feel that they're you. This is true. I mean, I can't. Well, I'm not going to lie and say I haven't noticed that. I have noticed that. You can talk to somebody and it's almost like feels like your head is gone and you're looking at their head through, I don't know, it feels like they're you. And you're talking to them like they're you, for better or for worse. To get to this point, you probably have to go, you're probably not the hardest on yourself. I have a feeling. So you're probably not the hardest on them. But it's almost like there's like, I don't even know how to describe this. Like your head is replaced with a blank space and anybody else's head can fill that space in. This is not like, I'm trying to describe a visceral sensation. I'm not saying the visuals actually change. I'm not saying the visuals actually change when you do this. Like I'm not saying it's like, oh, my head is your head or something like, like you get what I mean. But you can, but I look at her head in this example and it's I feel she's me. This can happen. But I think that, and I think like I know obviously lots of people have noticed the same thing. I maybe not obviously. I don't know. I think a lot of people have noticed this though. This is like an unraveling process, you know? Let's say, okay, that other video. Okay, look, yeah, maybe there's a slight lie or something with the pop. I don't even know what the lie would be. Like, I don't think it slows it down. I mean, do I know it? No, I don't know it slows it down. I don't know it doesn't. See, this is the problem with the idea of lying when we don't know anything. We have no ideas what's going on, so what right do we have to even say lying exists? Truth is all of this. That includes lying. So lying is truth. That sounds like somebody who's gone completely insane. Lying is truth. Yeah. See, I hope nobody watching this takes me very seriously. Like, what am I saying? Lying equals truth. They're like, okay. See, like in the human game, you don't say lying equals truth. But it's weird that you can arrive at that kind of. You can arrive at weird things like that. I think it makes sense to just pick, when you have to make choices in life, you just pick them at the feather. I think it makes sense, you just pick them as fast as you can. Just pick a choice, pick a choice, pick a choice, pick a choice. It doesn't matter what choice you pick, just pick something and move on. That sounds absurd, but in a way, but I think it might actually be true. Because the choice is already made. By the time you're making the choice is made. If the choice is already made, well, I mean, you might as well just be quick about it. The universe has to manifest some, or not even, I don't know, call it the universe, whatever it is, whatever, something has to manifest a causal explanation for something that just happens, and therefore, by the time it gets to you, because you're just some echo of secondhand crap, by the time it gets to the echo that's just secondhand crap, well, that if that secondhand crap knows what's good for him, he's not going to seriously think he has much say in what's going on. So he'll just make a choice quick. Just make a choice. And you don't know what choice is going to be made. See, we make decisions in life that make us feel bad because it's like, that's not like me, right? Like we have an idea of who we are, and that's like a tragic, sad mistake that humanity's made. So it's like life is a terrifying slideshow that we have to witness. And I really do feel like it's sadly like this for a lot of people. Like, I lied. Oh, I watched that happen. Why did I do that? You know, it's okay. You didn't know. Like, you didn't really have control over the situation. We don't really have control like that. This channel is not for people who are like some lying sociopath, and I don't think those people are seriously going to be watching this channel. This is for somebody who wouldn't. This channel is for somebody who would not dream of doing like horrific stuff, really. They wouldn't really do horrific stuff. But it's horribly caught in thought loops. And, but hey, maybe the sociopath watches the channel. I mean, whatever. They're already a lying sociopath. What difference does it make? I'm not going to... Maybe they're going to use what I say as justification for it. I mean, yeah, I would hope not. But... Like, you see, like, it's like... there's silence, and then I say stupid crap that's, like, born out of the silence. And that's what it's like. Nothing ever needed to be said. So what are we doing? Why do we say anything? there's silence, and then at some point you're like, oh, I exist. And that's oh, I exist. There was silence before, and you're like a fish in the ocean, and you don't know about the water. The water is the silence. And so you're like, you identify as the that thought from the silence. And it's like, I guess this is me. There's ruminated these chains that go on and on and on and on and on forever until at some point, for some reason, you become aware of that ocean of silence. And then it becomes more like an oscillation between the two things. And somehow it seems like your fear of death just goes away. And that I really do mean. I'm not sure I've mentioned that on this channel. That's one thing I could say that I don't think I'm lying about. If I look for that, I don't find it. And I used to really find it. Could this somehow help somebody? I don't know. I almost think if there's a bit of like some little thing I'm not sure about, like, this is the trivial stupid thing that guy got hung up about in that one other video, then of course I'm saying that. If I'm saying that, I probably have some doubt about that, don't I? I hope you realize all the spirituality channels are doing this. I think it goes beyond that. I think this is like a thing people do beyond just, not just talking about spirituality YouTube channels, but it's very transparent. It's pretty transparent that that's going on those. But when people criticize other people, in real life, whatever, in real life, I feel like it's something like this, actually. Anyway, if you make a channel like this, you talk to yourself, right? And you get into the sort of the headspace or the energy, like you somehow tune to how it feels to talk to yourself in your head and hardwire that to your voice. Just hardwire that to your voice. And then just let it out. Just do it. And then you could do this and not even upload it to YouTube. This would be like some kind of interesting self-help technique. And you don't have to upload it to YouTube. You can. But you record yourself doing this and then listen back to it. And the ones that you really like the vibe of, maybe you listen to those more. And it's like you're tuning to something. You're tuning to sort of a direction you want. You perhaps want life to move in. You're tuning to a certain direction. I think there's something like that. There's some sort of synergistic thing, and it's some sort of like be your own guide thing. Maybe there's even something about listening to yourself without judgment, because it's like you just want to have somebody to listen to without judgment. And so just record yourself talking and listen to it. I was like, isn't that good enough? Isn't that good enough? I mean, I think it is good enough, but like, I think it is good enough. It's probably good enough. A lot of people would say that that's not good enough. I need somebody else. But those people aren't any better than you, and therefore, what difference does it make? And you know if you're judging or not. Just don't judge yourself. It's helpful to be able to lovingly look at yourself do a task. Cook something and lovingly watch yourself cook. I mean it, you can do this. Make a YouTube video and lovingly watch yourself make a YouTube video. Do, whatever. Lovingly watch yourself. Like watch it like you see that you're just somebody trying. You know, somebody trying. You can, if you want it to be like, I'm watching a lovable idiot try. I mean, that's fine. You can do that. But you know, on this channel, like you could treat everything like I'm saying like it's a lie, kind of. So seriously, okay? Because it's kind of like silence and then lies coming out of silence. so at least if you take it a certain way. I don't know that lie really exists, you know, but this is trying to be very honest about a certain way of operating that you can do that would make life a lot easier. And for anyone. How many people are knowingly doing this? I don't know. Generally makes sense to move towards pain, move towards discomfort, move toward embarrassment, move toward things that seem like they'll destroy yourself. And I'm not talking about physically harming at all. I'm not talking anything like that. I'm talking about like psychologically. It makes sense to I don't mean chase ruminative thought, like that's not what I mean by that. But well, that wasn't the that last bit there. That wasn't the best thing to say, probably. I'm not encouraging like self-destructive behavior, in like the traditional meaning of that phrase. I'm trying to say like, just diving into the embarrassment kind of. I think people probably get what I'm saying. See, look, the way I said that just now is what I'm talking about. I said that like, I think people get what I'm saying. It's that it's like I'm talking to so I'm talking to myself. I'm talking to myself like I'm right there, like I'm another person right there. And you want to be able to do that. It makes sense to talk to other people like that. It makes sense to talk to, and it makes sense to talk to yourself like that. And in fact, you can kind of combine these things, like make it so that it's just like whether it's another person or it's me, it kind of makes no difference. I just talk the same way. Because it's all just one kind of mesh. That sounds kind of grotesque. All right. I think this is probably a good place to end this video. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Bye.